guest Hector.
And it's me, Edward, and
It's Eduardo. Thank you very much.
no, I said it's a me, Edward.
Oh, it's a me, Edward.
Alrighty then. Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. I haven't actually seen this
You haven't
video.
seen it? So
I
this
have
will be
not.
a
Yes,
live
this
reaction.
is fresh. This is all fresh.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen it either until like right before the podcast started. I was like, okay,
Gotcha,
I'm
you
pretty
gotta
sure
see it.
everyone's seen it,
What
so I
is
gotta
supposed
catch
to-
up.
What is it supposed to be about?
So, okay, real quick. If you're on Spotify, remember to rate it. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. As you guys can tell, we've upgraded.
Send me fan mail. I love fan mail.
Exactly.
I
Send
love
it.
opening up useless
P.O.
packages.
Box 2750. we don't have a P.O. Box. We should.
No, we
I don't think we should.
I don't think not yet.
No.
Bigger. We
Yeah.
have like 100 people listening.
Exactly.
Like,
And out of 101 of you, if you guys send me, like a package like Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
I was gonna go for like I was gonna make like it's a dick pic. Just gonna
Yeah.
send you dick pics through snail mail.
Yeah, if you guys want to send us emails, broketillfridaypodcast@gmail.com. It's Broke Till Friday Podcast
Yes.
on
Put it up on
Instagram.
screen here.
I'll remember this time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. We've upgraded our audio equipment. We'll see what it's like because it's the
Yeah.
first time I'm going to be editing with this audio equipment. And I fucked up because these arms don't even have the right little gears for them. That's why Edward's got the makeshift one on his penis.
Yeah, just it's it replaced my penis. It's an attachment, like in that one Rick and
We
Morty
forced
episode.
Exactly.
pierced it, and now it's a stand.
True.
So now that Edward, and then we have the next one, but Michael didn't come.
Why
Yeah.
did Michael in that?
Oh, you know what I just realized about
He
these mics?
sadly contracted sickness
Nice.
Yeah. So
That's
you'll be able to hear my burps and crisp quality
and your sneezes.
and my sneezes. And I don't think you can hear this stuff on the outside. So,
What?
like you hear the dog barking right there, right? I don't know if these mics will pick them up. They're notoriously low, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll deal with that later. So
Okay.
we're first going to react to James Gunn taking over the DC universe. So Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters DC Studios is the name of the video.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I was saying, I have not seen this video. Hector, have you seen this video?
It's gonna be here in the back, floating behind our heads.
Hector, I'm only going to tell you this once. Get off your fucking phone.
What do you think? This is class. You're not supposed to have your phone out. I'm gonna
Exactly.
confiscate.
Exactly. Dámelo.
Dámelo, dámelo.
All right. So,
Hector's like,
that
I'm
way,
a grown ass man. I'll bite you.
Exactly.
I'm gonna murder your family.
that way we can have a reaction of someone who doesn't really follow the DC stuff. That's Hector. And then we got the reaction of two people that like comics for the most part. We're just missing Chess, the
this gave me
DC
a
fanatic.
conspiracy theory, so I'll touch on that when we get to it.
Chess is the fanboy.
Yeah, Chess
Yeah.
is a big fan.
Alrighty then, Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters.
Play.
And he has it on mute. Edward, what are you doing? Raise the goddamn volume, boy. So, while we get to these technical issues, unmute site. There we go. So, ready.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then
Yo,
to move into Blue
Flashpoint.
Beetle,
Flashpoint.
a
Okay.
fantastic film
Let it
about
finish.
a kid
Blue Beetle.
who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now.
Aquaman 2. So what do you think? Because Flashpoint's supposed to reset the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So Aquaman 2 is going to take place before that.
Probably.
Standalone film.
Well, he said it leads into the next thing, so
Yeah.
let's see what he says.
And also, well, I mean, because we want to pause and talk through it. We don't want to just look at the thing here.
well, because I wanted to see the whole thing first, and then we comment
then-
piece by piece. Yeah.
Very
okay.
talented writers have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it, and Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other Lanterns peppered in there, but this is really
A non-animated
terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros, but with all of the inhabitants of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character. And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Green Lantern, baby! Fucking
That's
finally.
gonna be like their Avengers. Their Avengers movie.
Which one?
Green Lantern.
It says a TV series.
Yeah, but that's gonna be like their Avengers, like the first Avengers, because the first Avengers is where we get the setup for the rest of the saga, for the rest of the Infinity Saga. that Green Lantern film or the TV show is gonna be their setup for their next slate of films. He says it in the thing. That's their
Well,
Avengers.
yeah, he said that they he said they uncover a secret, so I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
The TV
I
show is
don't know
about
about-
them discovering, the thing that's gonna tie into the rest of the movie. So that TV show is their Avengers movie. Their Avengers 1.
I don't know. I mean, what remains to be seen also, because he said they said True Detective. See.
Space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it ties into it, but
yeah.
that's the whole point of all of these series, that they're actually going to tie into each other. That's why.
Yeah, but they're discovering something. It's gonna be them discovering like one of the main focuses. It's like how in Avengers 1, I mean, Loki tied into Thanos. It's gonna be their like branching into everything else. I would
don't know,
assume.
man. I don't know, because I feel like Green Lantern wouldn't be where to do it. It would probably be at the end of one of the Superman or Batman movies, because, or even, no, yeah, I mean, like one of the. I'm sure the Flash.
say.
I'm sure the Flash movie is gonna, with the whole resetting thing. I'm sure the Flash movie is gonna show us kind of like what to expect next. Because I don't think they're just gonna go, okay, everything's brand new, go. Because you always want to have that other thing to lead into the next era.
Well, but I guess I guess it depends because for the animated universe, they kind of just did that. Like when they reset the animated universe from the dark and gritty one they had going for a while into like the new with Superman.
New
and
52?
Parasite. No. New 52 is the gritty animated universe. That's Flashpoint.
No,
That's
it's
why-
after Flashpoint.
That's why it's after Flashpoint. That was their gritty like in the animated universe. It's Batman and Son or whatever. It was with Batman and Damian. It was where Darkseid Apocalypse happened, where like all the heroes got like converted into like Apocalypse machines, and the entire thing died. And then
No, but that one was an alternate universe.
that's the whole animated universe. That was the ending of the animated universe. At the end of the
Oh, and then where Flash reset it again.
Flash runs back and resets it again,
Mm.
recreates Flash,
Mm-hmm.
Flashpoint, whatever, does the backwards thing,
Hmm.
and they come out with Superman Man of Tomorrow, and that's the fresh new animated universe.
Well, we'll see what's we'll see what's holding
Yeah.
in store. But I'm just glad that fucking
Fucking
14 years to get a good Green Lantern
like,
live action.
it's like 14 years later, them finally finishing Razor's storyline from the canceled animated series.
Yeah, pretty much. Can't wait. So yeah, we'll see what happens
Yeah.
with Green Lanterns, but I mean everything else seems pretty.
So my conspiracy
Straightforward.
theory
Yeah.
here in the Flash one
Mhm.
is so one of the major questions is right now is how are they going to balance how's the movie going to fare with
Oh, it's already turned up. Look.
Yeah.
It's a-
how's the Flash movie going to fare with Ezra being a piece of shit,
Mhm.
and then also resetting the universe.
Well, that's the whole. I think that's the whole thing. Since they reset the universe, they can just reset the Flash. Hector donated his mic over.
I'll do
Donating.
this because
Pull it.
I'll be Birdie like talking, so I'll do this right now.
Edward, what are you? Just fucking
There
pull
we
it like
go.
a normal person, Edward.
I can't.
Yes, look, see.
Oh, yeah, it's better
angles.
for me to do this. Way better.
I mean, you can hold it to yourself too. Because the thing is, yeah, I guess because Edward's on the computer anyway. So
It's because the person in the
No,
center.
But when I need to talk to you guys, you go like this. Hey
Yeah,
guys.
we'll turn.
and just hold the mic, and then go and eat it like that
oh,
one
yeah,
time.
It stays, it's inside. Whatever.
Can't hear you, Hector.
Bluetooth.
Can't-
It'll be Bluetooth.
Yeah, exactly.
inside.
Actual Bluetooth.
Yeah,
Wireless with wires.
Organic Bluetooth.
stomach tooth.
Delicious.
Oh yeah.
So-
So how they balance it, that's like the biggest question right now, right?
Mhm.
And so my conspiracy theory, and I have nothing to base this on. I want to preface this. This is completely. I
Yeah.
smoked a crack pipe, and like this is the hallucination I had as a
Hmm.
result. How do you call it? So Ezra is Barry Allen, right? He's
Yeah,
the
for
Barry
now.
Allen Flash. For now.
Who knows
For
if
now.
what they'll do with the
In
TV
the-
guy, because his show just ended. So
True, that's true.
Yeah.
So what I want to believe, or my conspiracy theory,
Mhm.
and the reason why James Gunn likes this, is I assume that the Flash movie, and again, complete conspiracy theory, we don't know anything.
Mhm.
At least I don't know too much about the Flash movie. I haven't really kept in touch, but
Mhm.
I feel like they're actually going to get rid of Flash very early on in the movie.
And then in alternate versions in the Supergirl and stuff.
I don't
we're
even think
do
it's going to be alternate version. I think in the movie, really early on, Flash is going to get replaced with Wally West because it's Barry Allen Flash, and I feel like Wally West is going to be the one that takes over and where the majority of the film happens. The reset, quote unquote, is going to happen really early on, and the movie is essentially just following Wally West the rest of the way through, setting up the rest of the the upcoming films.
And this, this was your crack pipe moment?
This is my crack pipe moment. Completely,
Okay.
completely
I don't
unhinged.
I
just
don't know
crack
though,
pipe moment.
because they do have like, I mean, they have like the images with him as Supergirl and stuff like that, and it
Yeah.
doesn't look like it's just going to be 5 minutes of stuff. But
Well,
until
I
we
don't
see the
think it's gonna
trailer,
be 5 minutes of stuff.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
make
yeah.
it clear. I think the reset is going to happen at the start, and Barry Allen is gonna basically it's going to be a Barry Allen Wally West type thing throughout the thing. They're going to meet the other superheroes, and then slowly through the thing, it basically removes Barry Allen from the thing. Like either this is not your universe anymore, or blah 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 blah. The Speed Force recalls him.
I don't know if Ezra Miller
Blah,
would
blah.
have agreed to do a movie where they're like, we're going to replace you already because we kind of know you're a piece of shit. Because they didn't know he was a piece of shit at the time of filming.
That's true.
So I mean, I'm
But-
telling you, I think it could probably end with some sort of creative liberties in the editing, and with how you said, it gets reset, and then Wally West, like he's like he has to kill himself to do it, and then Wally
Yeah.
West takes over or whatever, I
Yeah,
don't know.
something like that. I feel that's kind of how it's gonna go.
I feel like it's
basically
gonna end
be
like
moving
that. I don't think it'll start like that. I think it'll end like that.
Okay, so let me clarify what I mean. So
Mm-hmm.
at the start, the reset is going to happen. The only one that survives the reset, essentially, is Barry Allen Flash, Ezra Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie's going to follow, and like near the start, somewhere like near the start, towards the start middle,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to meet up with the Flash of the actual universe, the new universe, and that's going to be Wally West.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to team up throughout the movie. They're going to meet Supergirl, whatever. And then
Mm-hmm.
at the end, it's going to be something where it removes Barry Allen, ultimately cleansing the rest, the leftover of the last universe, essentially.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the reset will happen, but Barry Allen will survive the reset, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And from there on, the adventures or whatever they actually have planned, meeting Wonder Woman, blah, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah,
yeah.
ending with Barry Allen essentially having to kill himself or whatever to remove him from the next slate of films.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Well, remains to be seen. We'll see.
Crap pipe moment. There's literally nothing. I don't even think there's even a rumor of like Wally West being in the movie. But like that's my
What's your crack pipe theory, Hector? Oh, you tilt it so it faces towards you. Actually, you can.
DC sucks.
That's not a
DC
theory.
Fuck you, Chess.
that's
Hector,
a
that's
film
not
theory.
But that's just a theory. Film theory. Yeah. We'll see. I don't know.
It doesn't work.
Your remote is useless.
Ah.
You'll be fine, Edward.
There we go.
So basically, Edward still has COVID.
I have COVID. I've infected you all. That was
We're
my
all gonna die now.
That was my glass onion moment.
I haven't seen the movie yet, so no
I
spoilers.
love those
It's
movies.
so good, right?
No spoilers. I saw the first one, obviously, but I still haven't gotten around to
Just
it.
as good as the first one.
A lot of people said it wasn't, but there's
Walter said it wasn't.
there's a lot of sequels that don't live up to it. That's the other thing. There's very few that do. Have you guys seen the new Puss in Boots movie?
Yes.
That one
That
was
great.
so
That one was
good.
better than the original.
High
Because
key when he was like, and he's doing the
I
little
like
whistling
it.
thing. He's like, he's
They
like,
put their full
I
Wolfussy
am.
in there.
yeah. It's like
I
in
am
the
the
flesh. That was pretty fucking badass, honestly.
Yeah,
So
I thought he was. I legit thought he was hallucinating until like everyone's like, "Who the fuck is that?"
that's
Yeah, that
funny.
shit was
It's
funny.
like, who the fuck?
Like he's he's invisible.
Death is actually.
Yeah,
It's
actually
actual
is death.
death.
Okay, we'll finish that after we do the
Yeah,
DC.
yeah.
So, the other things he was revealing was,
That
Wonder
was what I
Woman.
wanted to ask.
Oh.
What do you think is? How are they gonna think? Because the Flash is coming out first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, is the Aquaman 2 gonna be set like before that, or is it gonna be set after that?
I don't
Because
know.
it does seem like basically this kind of
Well-
confirms that like what people were thinking for a while, which is that he's essentially gonna take what he likes about the previous one and just carry it over.
I know Henry Cavill's no
regardless.
longer
Yeah.
Superman. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
That's so.
He was a
fucked up.
great
He was
Superman.
good. It's not his fault that Snyder had control over DC.
I know. No, but that's the other thing. Like James Gunn chose not to go forward with him, but because also I'm assuming since the movie's coming out in 2025, he's already going to be older, and he probably wants a younger Superman to
Yeah.
start.
Wait, hold
You
on.
know?
It's he's gonna start with Superman Legacy.
No. That's just the name of the movie, though. But it's not gonna be like, oh, like this is my legacy, moving on to Superboy or anything just yet. You know?
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah,
say
he-
anything about it.
yeah, he
But
didn't say
he is
anything.
using an older Superman in that one, like an already established Superman. But I don't know if that means anything.
I
Just
mean,
a
it's
picture.
yeah, exactly. It's just a picture. So,
yeah.
but I do think that's probably why he didn't want to go forward with him.
Mhm.
But that sucks because like he announces his return to Superman, and then he shows up in Black Adam as Superman and everything,
Yeah.
and we're like, "Whoa, he's back!" And then it's like, nope, because Black Adam didn't do as well as everyone thought it was going
well,
to.
because to be fair though, it's because The Rock like kind of weighed the
Did
film
I
down.
go see Black
like in,
Adam
behind
with
the
you guys,
scenes.
or did I go with Alan?
Black Adam?
Yeah,
I think we saw it.
I didn't go see it in
You didn't go
theaters.
see it.
I think
I
you,
saw it
me,
here.
Chess, and Walter. Because I remember Walter was here. Because it was like, no, he wasn't here, huh? I don't remember.
Mm.
I don't remember. Maybe you went with Alan. Because I always see it
Maybe.
like the night before and you guys can never go. Because you're like, I work. And I'm like,
I
you
work.
work, Hector? Ask to get the fucking day off.
I can't.
Or to
The
work a
poor can't
Saturday.
sleep,
Yeah, because
bro.
it usually comes out like on
Fine.
Thursday, like the day before. And
Thursday night, yeah.
I go play Magic, like to the card shop. Hector
Mhm.
works.
I always work on Thursday.
Chess works.
Yeah. I mean, Chess has one fucking day off a week. No,
Yeah.
he has two. No, he has 2 days off again, but it's like Wednesday and like Tuesday or something. But yeah, let's
He called off too much. No, he just,
I
he just
know.
can't no more.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling him. Like, if you schedule the day off months in advance, it's not like they can be like, no, one day off. Like, one Thursday is not gonna kill you. You
no,
know?
but some people, but especially in his industry, yeah, there'll be assholes. Like
Isn't he
that.
like a TSA agent?
No,
No.
he
No?
loads the planes. He's not
Oh.
a TSA agent.
I don't know why.
He's
I don't-
actually more useful than the TSA
Yeah.
agent. So, no. Yeah.
I always assumed it was like the TSA thing.
No, yeah. But he's no. He's more useful than them because he actually does work.
Yeah.
It's not just
He's
useless.
not just there
and-
jerking off in the corner. you know?
Exactly. I mean, some days you never know.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But
if you ever get a surprise stain on your luggage,
exactly.
courtesy of Chess.
Now you know where you found it. But yeah, so the DC stuff, we got the new Themyscira.
Mhm.
So Wonder Woman. I mean, I don't know what that's going to be about, to be fair either.
Yeah,
And then
I mean,
introducing
it
the
doesn't
Wildstorm.
sound like Wonder Woman is going to be in it, at least from the way
Probably
he
the
like
origins.
stated. Yeah, it's probably how it started, how it became an all-woman island because it looks
Yeah.
like they're
They're fighting all the
against
men and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh well, yeah. He said like Westeros, so it's probably fucking thousands of years ago before they
Yeah.
exiled all the men, because they were like #MeToo, and then but before there was Twitter,
yeah. Before Twitter,
the original #MeToo. And then I don't know anything about the Wildstorm characters.
Wildstorm.
Yeah, the Wildstorm was another comic, like DC Marvel Wildstorm, but that's why he said this is the introduction of Wildstorm characters into the DC universe.
okay.
But
okay,
that's what I said.
understand.
That's why I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, I don't know
anything.
too much about them. For this one, all I had to think or say, or the only brain cell that I had, was like he's saying that from the way he called it like the Authority or whatever, and
Yeah.
I assume that just means like fascistic superheroes, but he calls it different.
Yeah, because he said they want to
So-
fix a broken world, but it's like they think the world is broken or
Yeah,
something.
through
You know, I
all
don't know.
means possible, any means possible,
Yeah.
which is essentially fascist superheroes. And he says that it's going to be different. Like he said that it's that the concept or like the way he's making it is going to be different,
Mhm.
which I'm kind of curious about because recently we've been kind of inundated with fascistic superhero stories.
Yeah, the boys.
The Boys,
Invincible.
Injustice, which got like the animated release recently, and then
Yeah.
it got the what was that other thing? I don't know. There was something else with Injustice Superman that happened recently too, and then we got and then like in the Snyderverse we had the
Black
that-
Adam.
Black Adam, but also Superman was supposed to become Injustice type Superman in the future. The visions that Batman
Oh,
had.
that's true. I mean, we literally saw where
Yeah.
he was killing everyone. Blah blah.
Yeah, so we have
So-
a lot of fascistic superhero type stories now. So I don't know what he's gonna do different here.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be all Snyderverse, so we'll see what
Yeah.
happens. And then what was the other one? So
Oh,
yeah,
here we
Superman.
go. Batman, Brave and the Bold.
The Brave and the Bold.
Brave
So
and the
him
Bold.
with his son
Yeah, with Damian. How do you feel about Damian being the first Robin in the
in this universe.
in this universe?
I don't know because I don't know much about Damian Wayne.
He is the 7th Robin in line.
That's hilarious. Who were the first 6?
The first
We
six-
got
we got
wait.
Dick Grayson.
He's the original, right?
Yes, the original.
And then
We got Jason Todd.
Jason Todd, who then turned to Red Hood. Okay.
Yes.
And then Nightwing. Okay. So
Oh,
and then
yeah, so we got
Sorry, no, yeah, Nightwing,
Nightwing,
Red Hood.
We got Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, which
Wait,
is Tim
who-
Drake.
Oh yeah.
Tim Drake becomes Red Robin, and then he goes back to being Robin.
Red Robin. and then
And then after we technically
Not sponsored.
have Stephanie Brown, I think her last name is Stephanie Brown.
Tiffany.
The
Stephanie.
one from the
Spoiler.
future one.
No, spoiler basically. Her like she becomes spoiler afterwards.
Spoiler alert.
Ah.
And then 5.
5 we have.
You just need 2 more. Edward.
Come on, Edward, you got this. You
Fuck.
said there were 7.
There were
I
7.
called you bluff.
I can't remember the last 2.
I'm gatekeeping him even though I don't know the characters either.
I can't
You
remember
could have
the
made
last 2.
something up, Edward. You could have made something up.
Because I know there's 2 more. Because the Bat family is pretty big now. We also
Oh.
have Clarissa Clare, who's also an ex-assassin, but she can't speak, I
Clarissa
think.
Clare, Wally West. Where all the other
Duke
ones? No,
Devlin.
no, yeah. Because I know the Marvel ones really do that a lot. Where It's
Yeah.
like Peter Parker, fucking Ozzy Osbourne, fucking
Ozzy Osbourne. I just caught that.
Otto Octavius.
Yeah.
Fucking J. Jonah
Tony Stank.
Jameson. Nah, but you got the idea, right?
Yeah, I get it.
A lot of the
Or
alliteration
like
in
double
Marvel.
doubles. I never knew the word alliteration forever, so I just always said they're double doubles, like the In-N-Out Burger, because PP double double, Peter Parker. It made sense when I was young.
Edward, just play with this for the rest of the
Okay.
podcast. Hector, get the mic. Let the adults finish talking. So, but yeah, okay. So yeah, I don't know.
He's
I don't know
like the
anything.
seventh, yeah.
Because so it's I vaguely remember, but
Let me
he
just
didn't
Google
actually
it.
raise him, right? It's like the League of Assassins that raises him.
Yes.
Talia raped him and raised him till the age of 8.
Yes.
And that's how he came about.
Yes. And then
That's
Damon,
what it was.
Damon doesn't give a shit.
That he's like, fuck you, you're not my dad or whatever, right?
No, you never been a dad kind of thing.
Damian Wayne's number 5.
Number 5.
So you had him all.
Yeah, I had them all.
Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, Damian Wayne.
I guess
wait,
in my
Stephanie
head-
Brown is the future one. I'm telling you, right? Yeah.
Stephanie Brown isn't the future one anymore.
Alternate one.
She's an actual Robin.
Wait, click, see Stephanie Brown. Look, it's gonna be
Stephanie Brown.
No. Go to the other one. The other one.
That's Stephanie Brown.
No. Okay, what's the name of the one that becomes Robin? The girl Robin. The other one in
That's the girl
future
Robin.
one. In the future.
In the future?
Look it up. No, I don't think it's Detective Comics. Then it might be a
I
different
think
one.
it was.
Look it up.
I think that was where she first came in.
Look it up.
As
Look it up, Edward. Just Google. In
future Robin.
girl. Where is she?
Yeah, that's
Injus-
Stephanie Brown.
No, what?
Yeah, that's where she first appeared. I think,
What was her name?
or maybe I'm just misremembering. To be honest,
Carrie Kelly.
Carrie Kelly. Huh.
Yeah. Okay. So now Google
Okay.
her. Search Google for Carrie Kelly right there.
There we go.
And then
Boom.
there she is. I would say there he
Earth
is.
31. So not even the future. Just Earth
Alternate.
31.
What's this
Yeah.
not too distant future? But yeah, she was originally Robin before becoming Catgirl and settling on Batwoman. So
Mm.
yeah, because I remember when Batman was all thick
from the
and
Dark
stuff.
Knight Returns. There
Yeah,
we go.
see,
That's
why
yeah,
when
yeah.
when he has the thick bat
the-
bat sweater.
What
Bat
the
sweater.
Snyderverse was based on.
Yeah,
Yeah, not even
because he
joking.
puts
That-
on the
that's- that's
thing and
what
then
the- yeah.
and then fights him and stuff.
That's literally what it was based on.
But yeah, Green Lantern, he said, is true detective
Yeah.
mixed, so actual policing basically.
Actual police. Yeah, it's gonna be like a
pretty cool.
detective movie. I would assume. I would hope. 'cause
TV
he says
series.
it's- Yeah.
TV series, Edward. You say movie again?
You know
I'ma
what?
Clop you in the.
What are TV shows if not just longer movies?
They're not though.
Dude,
They're just
wait,
longer
wait,
movies.
see, Edward, Edward makes a point. Last of Us episodes were like 1 hour.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them yet. No spoilers.
I fucking played.
I heard the
game.
third one's really
Play the
good.
game.
Have you
Okay,
seen them?
so-
Have you seen them?
No.
They said the third one's really good. Watch it. I'm telling you, watch it because
It's
you'll probably
it has-
appreciate
It
it.
has Ron Swanson in it.
That's why. Okay. Shh. Sorry. No spoilers. Let's talk about that later after I watch everything. I'm gonna watch everything this weekend. Continue.
I haven't
So
seen
back
it.
to.
I haven't seen it, but
then
I have
watch
a
it this
problem
weekend.
with The Last of Us as a TV show
Why?
because
a
like,
storyline.
I've already played it.
No, but that. Oh, I've already played it. I
Yeah.
don't need to do.
Edward,
I've already read Green
I
Lantern. I don't
had-
need to watch it.
No. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Man,
Why?
Because the game itself is cinematic. It's like saying.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like okay. They
It's
made
like
a
it's like a movie, right? And then they adapt it into live action, add some more,
It's like
and turn it
adapting
into a TV
a
show.
movie into a movie. It's like
Into a
okay,
TV show.
It's like adapting a movie into a movie.
Okay.
Or it's
No,
like,
no,
yeah,
movie into a TV show.
Edward.
It's
as
like
your-
it's not the same thing as
that-
like adapting like Mortal Kombat into a movie. That's different. Like that's fine.
Well, because Mortal Kombat doesn't have a story.
Well, that's why. That's
Well,
like,
a little, a thin one. Not
Honest-
as.
that's
honestly, I
Sorry.
had the same idea. I was like, fuck fuck you guys. This is another Game of Thrones thing. Don't fucking gaslight me to watch it. I haven't seen it,
Okay.
but people.
It's got really good reviews.
People have been telling me that it's not a Halo. You
No.
know?
Oh, it's definitely not Halo. It's not fucking
I'm not
Paramount
talking about
Plus.
quality. I'm not talking about the quality.
Nah,
I'm
but
talking about
here's- but
specifically.
Here's the thing. Here's the upside of making it into cinematic, right?
Yeah.
Here's
Or
the
into a TV
positive.
show.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
a TV
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Right? People who never played the game
Will
people
now
who-
go and play it.
like literally people who are against video games can now watch something.
It's a broader
There's
audience.
a broad audience. Second, adding more stuff. Literally,
World building.
they're
World building.
They're
That's-
they're literally talking about how the virus spread, where it originated,
No
what happened
spoilers.
to the people.
Yep.
Well, because it's game.
Yeah, I know.
Because in the game, it
They kind of
mentioned-
touch on stuff, right? But they don't fully deep
Yeah,
dive.
they
deep dive.
talk about it because it's literally this game. I mean, obviously the game is a story about them too, and then
They
this
do
show,
a deep dive
this show
into the
is
lore.
everything. Yeah, lore in the world.
Guess.
Yeah.
I guess. I
So,
guess.
if
I
you're
feel like.
if
I
you're
feel
a
like.
true- but if you're a true fanatic, you watch it, and I was I'm like I need
guess.
to watch it. But then look, Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 2 is not Last of Us 2.
Mhm.
If they continue Last of Us 2, there's gonna be a new protagonist,
Yeah.
right?
Last of Us Part 2 is just
The second
it's
half
the
of the
second
story.
half of the story. Yeah.
They might stop at Ellie, but then remember, like, because I'm hoping, and this is me being like a fanboy.
Last of Us 2 Electric
remember,
Boogaloo.
Joe was
Joe Mama roasted Hector. Get
Got
out. Get out, Hector. You're done. We got
leave
him.
your car,
These
go,
nuts
leave.
moment.
Joe was a scavenger. Remember
Yeah.
remember he's like, I've been on both sides.
Ooh.
Right? So I'm like, maybe
He sucked dick too.
because in part 2,
Been in both sides.
Andres, and it's too bad because you don't fucking play the game. In part
I
2,
don't have a PS5. Why am I gonna buy a $500
Alan has a
console?
PS5. That motherfucker doesn't use it all the time.
That's true.
Good point. Okay, continue.
So in part 2, Joel gets hunted down by someone from his past.
No spoilers. No, I'm kidding. I know he
Right.
dies.
So, but then that means Joel could also have good connections or just help someone in general when he was in a different life, like before Ted.
In the before, yeah.
because like he's basically like in the first game, Last of Us, he's like 45 or 50s.
Mhm.
He's old,
Yeah.
and then Last of Us Part
It's
2.
probably mid 40s, right?
No, he's fucking old.
Yeah, he's old
Is he?
because it was in his late 30s,
He was like,
early 40s,
early
where like he
40s.
stole Ellie from the lab.
Or no, not even that. Like with his daughter, he was probably like 20.
He was like 25, like late
He's
20s.
56
Yeah.
years old. In the first game, he's 52.
Yeah.
And another one, he's 57. Damn, he's
because
old, man.
because in the game it says right there 25 years later or 20 years later.
Yeah, so
Joel was
wait,
already
hold on,
fucking
but
old.
isn't the person that kills him in at the beginning of Last of Us Part 2?
The daughter of the doctor he killed.
Yeah, in the end of the
Yes.
Last of Us. Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
assumed.
but remember,
'Cause when you said
that's-
past, I was like, wait, I thought it was like only the past from the
But
point
he-
of view
that
of the
means,
second
like,
game.
Mhm.
But like the idea of someone he incorrect and like take away from the past thing.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
idea of someone he had an impact with his
On-
actions.
Yeah.
You know, because even in the first game, he's like, your actions will come around. Like you never. That's why he's like, just forget. If someone dies, forget
Be
about.
selfish or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Basically,
that's why
yeah.
he was like teaching Ellie survive. But like
Fear keeps you alive.
little did he know he had someone hunting them down.
Oh.
He did not know that.
Well. If it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
Exactly. So in the next game it could be Ellie's action. 'Cause she literally
Consequences.
kills she kills a lot of people. And they all kill
Damn.
a lot of people. And that's why Joe's like, don't worry about it, just keep killing. And then-
You're a murder machine, boy.
So who knows? The next protagonist might be Ellie's. Like someone's trying to kill Ellie. You know, Abby's still alive. Remember, Abby's still alive, and her fucking kid that she adopted is still alive. And or Joel's someone that he met as a scavenger or scavenger, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Because in the game, Andres, in the game, it's not a spoiler. When he actually drove a truck midtown, there's a guy who's like, hey, stop, because he was driving a truck. And then Ellie's like, why are we driving faster? He's not hurt, you know, because
Yeah, he
Ooh,
knows.
she
He knows.
knew.
He knows the pattern.
he knows the pattern.
Ah,
Because he's
okay.
like,
Yeah.
and that's where he mentions Ellie, I've been on both sides.
Yeah.
So that means he was
Oh.
also one of those.
One of the
The
people that,
scavenger, yeah.
did that.
Did
Okay, okay.
that.
It's like he murdered probably
So-
8 people.
So
you know?
he probably had a community. He's been everywhere. He's probably like a different community
Mhm.
Yeah.
where they're fully that, and then that's a possibility where that group didn't die out where he came from because literally the Fireflies are not dead yet.
Yeah,
They're
still
just
alive.
they're just still really small.
yeah.
Mhm.
So and then
Well, yeah, they're little bugs that fly around. Anyways.
Yeah, you know. That's where they made that song from.
because in, the se-
House
in,
City.
the- in the second game, Andres,
Mhm.
Abby wants to join the Fireflies or wants to look for the Fireflies to become part of some to become the good guys or whatever. She wanted to
Yeah.
like, clear her conscience or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, man, I don't know if they're still around, kind of thing. And then she found one of the old bases, and then they're
Mhm.
like, yeah, this is. Because her dad was remember her dad was a Firefly because she was literally the doctor about to
Yeah.
operate Ellie. And
Ah.
that's why she left the Fireflies to join like the wolves.
Yeah, the people that were gonna
The-
hunt down Joel.
Yeah, no.
No?
She only wanted to. Only she wanted to. Remember in the second
And
game,
she convinced everyone else.
only her group. Remember,
Yeah.
remember her boss, the top of the wolves,
Mhm.
didn't want her to leave the pack. It's like,
Mm.
where'd you go? You weren't. I heard you weren't here for 2 weeks or a week.
Mhm.
Because she went out her way to find Joel's brother's town. I forgot his name.
Mm.
Joel's brothers. His name. I forgot his name.
Nah,
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know anything.
Yeah,
else.
remember.
that's why.
But like this kind of, I feel
She
like this
she
kinda,
did her revenge story is on her own. Her
Oh,
actions
okay.
were her own,
Yeah.
and because of that, Ellie hunted down every of her friends,
Mhm.
and then Abby's like, "You killed all my friends." And I'm like, "Yeah, the consequences of your actions." kind
Yeah.
of thing. It comes the idea comes right back again.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's a good chance that it might be someone they already encountered with.
Mhm.
But this coming back to the TV show, this TV show could add someone, or
Yeah.
or literally like, Joel met him or her,
But here's the two
and now
things.
she's gonna be the main character in the next second game.
Yeah, that's possible. But
So
here's
the-
the two things: the TV show is separate continuity from the game. So yeah, they might introduce someone there, but it's still separate continuity, right?
No, everything's accurate so far.
Yeah, but it's separate continuity. Like if they suddenly add someone to the
Oh
game,
yeah,
that-
it's not like a multiverse.
Yeah, it's not a multiverse.
Or
That's
sorry,
not
sorry.
what- no.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not the same timeline.
Yeah, it's not the same timeline.
It
It's a
technically
separate
is
thing.
a multiverse because like the live action actions are going to be slightly different from what happens in the game.
from what happens in the game. So like it's separate, and I feel like everything that you're saying
No,
kind
they
of
could-
proves my
they could-
point.
They could still add someone.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it-
They could
like-
definitely still add.
I don't
one.
know.
Yeah, but like if there's debate, like because obviously people are always gonna when there's adaptation stuff, there's always gonna be debate as to what is like the official
Canon.
timeline, the canon, blah 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 blah. And the game is gonna take precedent over the TV show. So if they change something in the TV show, and it contradicts
Yeah,
the
it
game, the
won't.
game is what's gonna be correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like I feel like everything that you're saying kind of proves my point. The game itself is already cinematic. Converting or adapting cinematic games that are already essentially like TV shows or movies is less fruitful than adapting a game that has that isn't as cinematic but still has
No,
potential
because
for
the
storytelling.
the target audience is completely different.
Exactly.
You're going against someone that has a console
Versus someone who has a
that
TV.
just has a TV.
Do you
and-
have this service?
I'm
No.
not saying that it's
Yeah.
completely unviable. Like obviously there's room for it, and I'm not speaking about the quality of the TV show,
Mhm.
but there's more benefit. There's greater benefits. So like it's not that there's no benefit to adapting cinematic games. I feel there's less benefit adapting cinematic games than there are to adapting like
Well,
less cinematic
okay,
games
but
because the
let's-
game
wait, wait.
itself is already cinematic.
Let him explain why.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, to be fair, the first Last of Us game came out a while ago. It wasn't like Last of Us Part 2. It just came out like last year.
That's true.
So it's not like graphics are gonna advance. It's that
Game of the
you're
year
seeing it in real
2010.
life / CGI. For whatever's needed.
CGI.
But CGI and people acting is gonna do a lot more for storytelling, where you can sit there and watch it, versus playing a game where you have to follow stuff and then watch, follow stuff and then watch.
Will it? Because
Because a TV show, you pause it and then you're like, okay, I've seen the first like 10 minutes of this episode. I'll be back to
Yeah.
it. But you have to reach a certain checkpoint in the game if you want to, if
The
you want to
objectives are
save and stuff
different,
like that.
Edward. Video game-
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
You
yeah,
have
but
to
it's still
interact.
cinematic, and that's one of
Exactly.
the issues that people have always said that is the issue with adapting games. The fact that there's actually removal of
Interaction?
of not the removal of that interaction lowers the quality of the storytelling.
Why would it lower
That's
the
one
quality?
of the things that most
so
of the
it's-
people talking on the subject have said is an issue with adapting video games to movies.
Well,
That-
because it is two different mediums. Like a
It's
TV
yeah.
show is meant to be consumed one way, and a video game is meant to be actively participated
yeah,
in.
but it was the same issue with turning a book into a movie. It's a lot easier than turning a movie into a book. The thing is that there's less interaction, there's less ability to. Basically, your relationship to the medium is lessened because you're removing a way in which you can relate to the
Okay,
medium.
so you're
Actually,
moving,
wait,
you're
wait.
moving-
And when you go
I-
from the same issue with adapting a movie into a book, you have that same issue with adapting a video game into a movie because you're removing a type of relationship that you have to the material.
Okay.
Wait, what does that mean? What do you mean by what do you mean by removing the relationship?
Let me try to clarify what your
Yes,
argument
yes.
is.
Okay.
It's true, right? Video game and the TV adaptation, they both involve looking at the screen, right? So
Mhm.
that's the visual aspect.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right. The interaction what a gamer has to the visual aspect is only through gaming, while a
Mhm.
TV show is just a TV show,
Mm-hmm.
right? The impact that you get playing the game and enjoying the story is literally a whole different feeling than watching it.
I
So
disagree.
Technically, but I'm not. I'm
Okay,
not,
sorry,
I'm not
sorry,
agreeing
go,
with
go,
him. But
go.
technically,
Finish.
what he's trying to say is there's less of an impact. That's his argument. There's less in the impact.
Okay, so well, let me
But
tell
like,
you.
like literally physically speaking, interactively speaking, like quantity speaking,
Mhm.
he is correct.
So the reason I disagree is because we've already established that they're diving deeper into the lore. So the book to movie argument is very different because a book is going to have much more information, whereas a movie is going to want to condense that information to get it into a 90-minute, 2-hour thing, right? Let's say for the long movies, 3 hours long, right? But even like let's say with Eternals, that should have been a TV show because a TV show is a different medium than a movie. Now with a video game, the video game has like let's say 5-6 hours of gameplay, right? Let's say it takes about 6 hours to complete the game, right? But of course, it takes a while for people to finish it because you're not doing it in all one span. Plus, you're watching, the cinematic part of it. With a TV show, you can dive deeper, as we've already seen, with more details being explained and the lore being expanded on, and you can have multiple seasons, so you don't have to rush. Because let's say if they made it a Last of Us movie like Uncharted, yeah, it's going to be a rush thing. People aren't going to like it. If Uncharted was a series, imagine if Uncharted was a series where it was more of like a mystery thing and stuff like that. Wouldn't that have been better, Hector? Uncharted Uncharted as a series would have been better because you would have had more time. Remember Assassin's Creed, the movie?
The
It's
issue with
pretty
that is
good.
that you remove
I
choice.
think it was
'Cause
pretty-
in the Uncharted series, don't you have to make choices about
No.
what you do?
Uncharted is literally a linear. It's
Linear gameplay.
It's basically the Mummy without the Mummy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's 'cause it's a treasure
It's-
hunter. It's a treasure hunter movie.
Yes.
Like so that's why. Okay.
Wait, so then wouldn't that
Going-
make that's
Tre-
like a
it's a
perfect example of like how it could have worked as a movie? Because the
No,
Mummy is a
no,
movie.
because you're ruining
Again.
it for your own self because you're going in with expectations.
Exactly.
The Uncharted movie, even though it was completely different, I enjoyed it because it was another treasure hunting movie. And that's
Okay.
what I went as a high scene. Assassin's Creed obviously fucking went
Mhm.
differently. They made the animus fucking very different.
Yeah, like when
Right.
you mess up the
Yeah.
source material, that's one thing, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
But when
But
you
we're
keep it
separating it
true,
from that.
It was
We're
really-
no,
separating
because
from
that's the problem that people have when they're like
Because you had to think about your father's opinion.
your fans
Yeah.
plus the net that you're
Yeah.
broadcasting of going, this is a story-based game. We want to tell the best story possible when we turn into a TV show.
That's not just it though, because for example, the Assassin's Creed. I love Assassin's Creed. I played all the games. I have all the games. One of my favorite video game franchises.
Mm-hmm.
The movie in concept and in execution was fairly similar to the first Assassin's Creed game. It was fairly similar. It didn't completely butcher the source material.
Yeah,
and it was
didn't.
still bad. And why is that?
I think
The writing was
because-
okay. The actors were good.
I don't know about the
Uh,
writing.
Yeah, the
I-
writing wasn't that bad compared to like other things of equivalent level of movie.
I
It's
can't.
not
I
that
can't
bad.
even
It's all
quote
about
anything. It was not
address-
memorable.
well,
That's
it's
the
not-
thing.
okay,
They made really quick. They made the Assassin's Creed movie too bland and too generic. That's the thing.
Yeah,
but with
yeah.
The Last of Us, they're not just making it generic. They're making it adapted to the storyline, but so people can understand. And in taking your time in doing that story, you're not holding the person's hand going, "This is how the story goes." You're going, "This is the story." Now listen to it.
Exactly. If I was gonna go to a movie, like say I was gonna go watch The Last of Us episode 1 with a bunch of people, like in the theater, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a 1 hour thing.
Yeah.
And I hear a fucking fan guy's like, "That's not how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what are we guys watching this crap?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm going in watching it as a film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going in watching it as a movie. I'm here taking all my fan fiction away so I don't ruin this experience for myself.
Yeah.
Now, the Assassin's Creed movie,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was good. It has potential, but it wasn't structured right. It was too
bland.
quick.
Exactly. It was
Too quick.
They wanted
They
to just
wanted
pump
to
out a
explain-
90-minute action film. That's
Yeah,
what they did.
exactly.
Instead of
It
doing
wasn't
the
even
whole
90 minutes.
How-
It was less.
It was
It
no.
was
I'm pretty sure it was like because 90 minutes is standard, right?
Because
The
no, it
Assassin's
was like
Creed movie.
1 hour and like 10 minutes. It was really slow. They're like, oh, this boy was fucking parkouring on a farm.
An hour
It was
15.
2 hours
2 hours
long,
long.
It was
and I
2
don't
hours
even
long. It
right
felt so short, dude.
Yeah, it felt
exactly
really short.
because it felt rushed and it felt very
It
generic.
was very
oh my
rushed,
god!
yeah.
Wait, look, it has a 19% Rotten
Yeah.
Tomatoes, 5.6 on IMDb. But so my point with
They
this
should
is
have just
that
made it to a TV show. They should have. They shouldn't.
exactly.
That's
Thank
one,
you.
That's one main the structure.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
just too quick. It is.
I forgot the name of the research paper, but essentially it was like doing an experiment basically on what's one of the major reasons why a lot of the movies fail, and it was essentially the relationship. It was essentially you're lessening the fuck. I'm forgetting what it's called, but basically,
Give me your opinion,
the
Edward.
interaction.
Give me your opinion.
My opinion. I'm trying to explain my opinion
Yeah, yeah.
using
Go for
this
it, go for it.
data.
Go.
Is essentially that. Well, we're already diverting because this wasn't what I was originally talking about.
What were we
but-
originally talking about for The Last of Us?
For The Last of Us, I was originally saying that there's more benefit to giving games that, although they have a storyline, like maybe
To not doing a TV show at all?
no, things that only kind of have a storyline, like maybe like The Binding of Isaac, not The Binding of Isaac specifically, but that sort of shape where it has a story that you can follow, but it isn't like exactly cinematic.
But-
to like giving those things adaptations rather than like things that are already essentially cinematic.
But then the problem with that is that there's no storyline to go off of. So
No,
when
there
they
is.
wait,
These things have storylines.
no, I'm saying it's a bare bones storyline for most of the stuff, right? With for those kinds of games, like let's say they're making a Minecraft movie or something, right? What's the storyline? Reaching the end or whatever. But it's a very thin storyline because it's a more open
Yeah, but I'm
world,
not
right?
saying something as thin as like the Binding. That's why I use Binding of Isaac as the example because it's not a thin storyline.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of lore. It's very deep. There's a lot of things you could talk about. There's a lot of ways to make a story out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It has a full story that you can do. It's just not easily accessible. Not like how The Last of Us is, which is unbelievably cinematic. It's essentially already a movie in game form. That's the issue I'm having. There's more benefit to adapting something that's not as cinematic.
But on the executive
that
side,
have good
are you
story.
gonna do a game that from like a couple years ago, or are you gonna do The Last of Us?
Oh well, yeah, but if you want to
That's
take
the
the
other thing.
executive side, you don't do any of that. You pump out more Assassin's Creeds because that's.
But they didn't.
yeah, I know.
I think this is better. This is a better way of saying it. I think we shouldn't call the video game as the Last of Us. We shouldn't call it cinematic. The reason why I'm saying,
But it is.
It's a good game because it's fun. It's just perfect.
It's a story. Yeah, it's a story-based game.
but the
the
combat.
game itself is cinematic, though.
Yeah,
that
but
that
God
is
of
what
War.
it is.
God, we can't say God of War is also cinematic either
Look,
because
look up the definition of cinematic before
'Cause-
you. I want a semantics.
yeah, because a
list.
cinematic game, what fits the definition better is like Heavy Rain.
The
or-
Last of Us has always been known for its impressive cinematic take on a video game.
But what's the definition of
Wait. So, because it does say showcasing scenes that look like they're right out of a movie in between gameplay, right?
Yes.
Which makes sense. There's advanced graphics
There's
on the
advanced
PS5 and
graphics, as I'm
stuff like
saying.
that.
Well,
I
it
think-
came out.
I think people need
I
to
put The
stop
Last
saying.
of Us 1, so it was the PS4.
I think people need to stop
Or
saying it's
PS3.
cinematic. Just say, "Oh, it has a good storyline," because that's what you really get into. Though.
That's true. Okay, because
Right.
Yeah,
the
but that's what I mean. Like
cinematic.
That's not what I mean by
Cinematic just means the visual qualities or aesthetics of a film or video.
Yeah.
Gaming, a scene shown to the player when they reach a particular point in the game, such as at the end of a level or when the player's character dies, a cutscene.
Because
The
because
reason,
wait,
why,
wait,
the
wait.
reason
So-
why The Last of Us was considered cinematic was because they had so many of those cutscenes.
So many
Yeah,
cutscenes.
but-
So it's
it
just a
was essentially
cutscene
a
game.
movie. Yeah,
Exact-
that's what I mean.
but-
I want
Okay.
games that have a story. They have good things, but they don't have already built in like scenes that are essentially pre-made.
just
But
say you want a
every-
good game. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like people should stop saying this because it literally throws them off. Because I'm like, oh look, man, this is very good. Like it's like I'm in a movie. I'm like, well, then why not just make a fucking movie instead of making a fucking video game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that was the thing with The Last of Us. Yes, The Last of Us was already essentially like a TV show, movie, whatever you want to call it. It was already like a visual medium.
They should stop saying
essentially.
cinematic. It was just a good game.
That's what The Last of
It's a
Us
good game.
was.
It was just a good
It's
game.
a story-driven
Good
game. That's
But
it.
then-
It's not just a story.
But then that's
game,
even
like,
worse because you have games like Heavy Rain, games like
Dude,
Beyond Two
Injustice.
Souls.
Injustice
Yeah,
is a
no, no,
cinematic
that's
game.
why-
No, something different. Like we're going to a game that's differently structured now. Like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
Those are actually stupid driven, like cutscene games.
Mm-hmm.
Because your only interaction is like pressing a button.
Mm.
But then
Yeah,
you
they
let
were
you literally-
more cinematic. even
That's
more so
that's
than The Last of
actually
Us.
more cinematic.
Dude, that's Injustice. Injustice is just
A fighting
no,
Injustice
it's
is
just a bunch of
fighting
it's just a bunch of cutscenes
Yeah.
with a fighting game chopped in between.
That's why I didn't care for the animated Injustice movie either. That's the same.
because you're like the
thing.
story's already been
The
told.
story's already been told. You've already seen, especially because it was animated. The game itself is already animated, and they're essentially just splicing together the cutscene.
Yeah,
And I-
that one I agree with that because from going to animation, it's like, well, what's the point of this?
This one's
But
animation going to live action.
And this,
Yeah.
this is how I feel about the Last of Us TV show too.
No, but
Because
this is
even
this
if
is
they're
this is
just
objective.
recreating the scenes. They're recreating the cutscenes essentially.
You're retelling the story in a
No,
different
you're
medium.
recreating the cutscenes, just
Yes.
adding it into the
That's
scene.
what retelling
That's
a
not an
story is.
adaptation,
It's a
though.
different- it's
That's
a
not
different-
the adaptation.
But
You're like
it's a different medium. That's
okay,
the whole
then
point.
Injustice is also the animated thing is also an adaptation.
But
and
Injustice
that's-
is a bad
it's not,
exact.
It's not.
Injustice,
It's not.
Injustice is a good example
Of a bad
example.
adaptation.
Yes.
It's a good example of a bad
Well,
adaptation.
the movie
Edward.
wasn't even that bad. The
Edward.
quality, the actual quality of the movie of the Injustice animated movie wasn't bad.
So
it
then
wasn't
it's-
particularly
It wasn't
bad.
pointless then. If it's good, then it's not pointless yet.
I think it is. I think it's
But if
more
it's-
pointless
if it's
than.
good, it's
So you would rather have a world where there's no Last of Us TV show and everyone just plays the game?
don't just put okay.
I'm asking a
that's what we're
question.
talking about, but that's what
No,
we're
no,
talking
I'm
about.
asking a question. That's what I'm asking. So you answer me yes or no, and then we continue.
I would prefer for adaptations of video games to be for video games that don't necessarily have a lot of cutscenes, but still have a lot of lore for the exact same reasons you guys are giving me. Games with not with,
better.
So Injustice the movie, just for record, has a 6.4 on IMDb. Only 64% of people liked it, with the 50% Rotten Tomatoes. So I think, the general consensus is that it was not
It's
a good
whatever.
adaptation.
it was whatever.
But-
It was a whatever movie.
But The Last of Us is a
Yes.
good adaptation of a great
yeah,
video
this
game.
is aside from quality. I'm not talking about quality here. I'm talking about what things people choose to make adaptations of. And I feel personally that making adaptation of something that's already essentially a movie or a TV show or whatever is less beneficial to adding to the lore, to getting accessibility to these stories, than a game that whose entire story is essentially blocked by gameplay. Because The Last of Us 2 isn't really necessarily blocked by gameplay.
Exactly.
It's less blocked.
Exactly. So with a TV show, you're not blocked by gameplay, which allows you to cast a wider net for a general
but
population.
more
this is
accessible,
my
Edward.
point. This
Exactly.
is my point. This is my point.
So it shouldn't be more accessible?
The Last of Us is not like the burden for accessing the story through gameplay is not as high as other games that are equally as good, that have just as good stories. I personally feel that the games that have good stories and are way harder to get through, the gameplay, should be chosen for adaptation over games that are not as blocked by gameplay. So essentially, like, if we put it on the graph, The Last of Us has like this much story, and this is the level of gameplay needed to get to it, right? Not that high, and it's already essentially a cinematic experience.
Yeah.
There's gameplays that have a lot of story, or there's games that have a lot of story and whose gameplay requirement to access that story is like way higher, and
But-
those are the games whose their story is good, but are essentially completely blocked out by gameplay that should be turned into adaptations. That's essentially my argument.
I guess,
That
but
there's games with really hard gameplay that are not easily accessible to people that would otherwise enjoy it. That should be targeted for adaptation.
that's what happened with Doom, though. In the 90s, when Doom was a very difficult game to begin with, right? Because there's you have to like learn how to strafe and things like that when it's one of the first 3D games. But then they just made a bad adaptation out of it, and again, it's
did.
more on the quality of the end product, which is how people will receive it, which is then how they'll judge the game. Because the Mortal Kombat movie, it was great, but I'm not going into a Mortal Kombat movie expecting I'm going to have the best storyline. No, I'm going to a Mortal Kombat movie to go, I want to see some guys fight. Same thing with Black Adam, right? So when I go into a Last of Us TV show, I'm expecting it to be of high quality because the game was of high quality in the storyline, not in the gameplay.
Yeah, but you see, now we're talking about different things. I'm talking about which properties should be targeted for adaptation. I don't think The Last of Us or games like it, like Heavy Rain or things that are already essentially cinematic, should be the first ones up to produce good quality content. I think
There's already the story in the game?
Because the video
Yeah.
game, the bar for
I
the
can now
video
see his
game,
I see his argument.
because the bar for the video game is essentially very low. The gameplay is not difficult.
So let's
It's very
let's-
simple.
So let's use an example like Five Nights at Freddy's,
Mm-hmm.
right? Simple game, simple
Yeah.
game, very short game, like indie creator, right? Started out like that. People were, like the lore was it was extreme, but the gameplay is very minimal, right? You guys will agree with that.
Yeah,
It's very
very whatever,
very whatever.
Yeah,
It's a mobile
3
game,
seconds. Yeah,
right, mobile game. What should that be?
I don't think that should be up for adaptation over other games whose gameplay is actually really difficult to learn, but who still have good story.
To be fair, it is simple controls, but it is a very difficult game. Because you have to learn how to balance
Okay, what
everything,
about
even
Warcraft?
with 2 or 3.
Let's look at
I guess it
Warcraft.
depends.
Let's
Like,
look at
D&D,
Warcraft.
the D&D movie right now, perfect. D&D, notoriously very difficult, right, to play, especially when compared to The Last of Us.
I'd say it has a high skill floor, but not such a high skill ceiling, because it's a lot to start to get into the game. But once you're in
I
it,
want
you're
I want an adaptation
It's
because
still- it can still be difficult.
I can't understand shit.
Yeah, not to mention that every DM would have their own story. It's very
Exactly.
difficult, very complex. Perfect for adaptation, in my opinion, when compared to The Last of Us. That's what I'm talking about. Last of Us, the skill to play the game is essentially zero.
I got a surprise for you. There's a D&D movie coming out.
That's my point. That's my
Yeah,
point.
But that's it.
That-
Do you
that's
think
exactly
okay?
what
So
I'm
do you
thinking.
think the D&D movie will do better than the Last of Us TV show?
This is what I'm not. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about whether it'll be good or not, because that depends on so many other factors, right? The people who are adapting it, how much they care about the IP they're adapting, how much money is going into it, who are the writers, who are the actors.
I think everyone always cares about
So,
that. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
essentially, you're
that's
saying
different. I'm talking
less
about
cinematic
who-
games should be adapted, and more games with gameplay, but still with a storyline, should be adapted.
Yes, games that have like a high skill
Wait, I
ceiling
think you
that
should
aren't.
stick
You're
with
just
the first
gatekeeping,
one.
Edward.
Yeah, you're just
Edward's just gatekeeping
No,
now.
I'm not how am I gatekeeping?
'Cause
I'm
you're
literally
saying-
trying to say that like
'cause
the
you're
things
saying-
that require more effort to get to
Should be done.
less. Yeah, it should be easier to get to.
But just because they make a movie about like when they made the Assassin's Creed movie, no one was like, oh, there was a huge bump in Assassin's Creed sales. It's like
Well, yeah.
There's a
but,
whole bunch of different mechanics in the
we're
Assassin's
not
Creed game.
I'm not talking about whether. I'm not talking about the end results of a particular product. I'm talking about what is the process by which people select what games to adapt into either TV shows or movies. And I
the
feel
quality.
that
I think it's the quality that they do it.
Actually,
it
That's
hasn't
why.
even been done yet. Like,
yeah,
there's no end result for the
We're going
movie.
way before, like what's the
You haven't even casted the actors yet.
Edward's going way before. Like,
No,
where's
At the beginning of the process to choose what
Yeah.
to adapt.
That's what
Okay, so these are the criteria, right? In a general basis, you're going to want something that can be accessible to people, right? That you can have generic, but not too generic, and something that is recognizable. Brand recognition would probably be the number one
brand
thing.
recognition.
The
But
number one thing.
That's kind of essentially covered because we're talking about popular video games that they're adapting.
Is The Binding of Isaac that popular though?
I just use that as an example for a game that has a good story but has complex gameplay. I'm not talking about any particular IP right here. I'm talking about how people choose what to adapt.
Well, I just told you how they
Yeah.
choose it. That's why. Yeah.
It's been 1 hour.
No, not yet.
Ah,
almost.
man, I feel like I'm not getting my point across at all.
It's because
I don't have one, Edward.
I know, I
have
know.
one. I
Because
do have one.
what I'm hearing is you're saying this is a cinematic game. Leave it alone. Get the less cinematic games and make those better.
That's a better argument. 'Cause that makes sense.
Yes, essentially.
That
Make
makes
the
sense.
make the games that have a lot of story but have difficult gameplay more accessible by turning them into an adaptation.
You mean a lesser?
But like I said, I think the problem with that is that then people make their own storyline because they're like, this one doesn't have such a fleshed out story as Last of Us does, right?
But it
so
does
that,
have a fleshed out story. Like,
Let me
this
finish.
is
Let me
what you-
finish. Let
what?
me finish. So I'm saying, if it has complicated gameplay and it has a fleshed out story, and then people make it into a movie, people always complain that it's not as good to the source material, but maybe because they didn't adapt the source material. Exactly.
You need that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't
people-
require
okay.
effort. Like, yeah, it's going to require effort. It's going to require work, but that's what we're talking about here. We're
so-
talking about adapting.
But you're basically
things.
just saying. So sorry. Just to summarize, you're saying
Yeah.
cinematic games, leave them alone. Get the less cinematic games and elevate them.
Yes.
Okay.
Essentially, that's essentially my point. That like the less cinematic.
I don't know if that's
games
much a
that have
point,
more-
but it's more of a statement.
It's
I
yeah,
get it.
your opinion. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
You
in
didn't-
my-
you
that-
haven't
Yeah, okay,
proved-
your
I
opinion.
started this. In my opinion, I think
You didn't
less,
prove it that's gonna work. You didn't prove it that's a good idea.
I never wanted to. I only said
He just wanted to say his
specifically-
opinion. He
I
said- he
wanted to
raised
say
his
my
hand and
opinion.
went,
Yes, I
"This
raised
is
my
what I
hand.
think,
I was
teacher."
like, hey,
Yeah.
there's these games that are already fairly accessible. The story's already fairly accessible because the gameplay skill required is really low.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should, get more games that have essentially more difficult gameplay, but who still have a robust story that you can create an adaptation out of, and adapt those because they have good stories. A lot of these games do already have good stories. They have robust stories that are really good to experience, but they can't be experienced easily by the
'Cause,
population.
My
because they're
understanding,
games.
yeah, my understanding from the beginning of your argument was that the Last of Us games should not be adapted, or
No.
cinematic games should not be adapted. That's all I was like, wait, but they're easier to adapt, etc., etc.
Yeah. The whole that's the whole 9 yards. I understand why they choose games like The Last of Us. They're already cinematic. I feel that essentially makes it so that other stories that are equally as good but have more complicated gameplay and require a little bit more work to actually adapt don't get looked at and don't get adapted. And that in and of itself would be gatekeeping.
Well,
that is gatekeeping.
well, what about
because
you-
you're gatekeeping a story that's good that people would enjoy just because producers like people don't really want to put in the work to make those work.
Or what about this? Like, I don't think, because we're gamers, me and you, right?
Mhm.
And
And me.
Andres, and
All of
Andres,
us. Andres too,
we're
Wearing a
looking
Doom
at
shirt.
it as an adaptation. Now
Adaptation.
we need to look
Mhm.
at it as how it stands. It's a zombie TV show.
Mm-hmm.
A zombie
At the very
story.
yeah,
at
yeah.
the
Okay,
very
that's not
best.
At the very core, at the very
correct.
core.
That's extremely correct.
Yes, at the
extremely
core,
what it is.
but that for a fact that that's not completely
For
correct
someone- for
because they're
someone who-
banking on the brand recognition. Andres just said it. They're banking on
No,
the brand
because-
recognition of
but-
The Last of Us.
but-
if it
but-
was a generic zombie show, do you think it would do as well as
Yes.
it
Walking
was
Dead.
The Last of Us?
Walking
Yeah.
Dead's been generic for
Very
the last
good,
like
actually,
10
10
years,
years.
dude.
And it started off as a comic that already had a popular fan base.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
No,
No,
it had not blown up. It did not blow up until I promise you,
Nah.
it did not blow up
Obviously,
until
it
TV
got
show.
better. It got bigger, but it already had like a fan base.
Because
Just because you didn't learn
was-
about it until
no, no.
afterwards doesn't mean there
It-
weren't
it
other
was-
fans before you.
it was Image Comics
No, but then
on
you
an.
have- then let's to counter your argument.
Mhm.
Then you're gonna look at every other zombie movie that you watch and compare it to this one.
Yeah, and how
And
many
then-
zombie movies are just like nothings?
There's a lot, dude.
That's why.
That's why that makes it even more impressive to make an actual good zombie TV show.
Yeah, you're taking a generic premise
Like-
and making it good.
Now you have to look at it as a competition.
Yes.
You're going Last of Us zombie TV show versus The
Survival.
Walking Dead zombie TV show.
Yeah, and
Holy shit, I'm gonna watch this one because this one's a fucking good TV show.
And it's a higher quality, and we're expanding on
Exactly.
the lore of the game.
yes, but that you just said it yourself. A lot of the reason why they greenlit The Last of Us was because of the label of The Last of Us.
Well,
The
yeah.
Last of Us was already good, so it's not just a zombie
but you
TV
had to look
show.
at it.
They're adapting, like
A
when you
good
adapt
feedback- a
something,
good
you're
feedback is from
inextricably
someone who
linked to
doesn't
the
know
thing
it
that
was
came
a video
before
game.
it.
Couldn't hear anything you guys said.
Okay,
No.
okay, you go first. You go
A
first.
good feedback would be from someone who does not have any opinions of the video game.
And
of
there are a
the-
lot of people because again, the generic net that they cast,
Yeah.
a lot of people were like, "This is amazing,"
'Cause
and
La-
now they go and
Last
play the
of Us,
game.
The only people who said it was a good video game was video game players.
Yes,
Now this TV show,
everyone is saying it's good.
saying it's a good thing.
Well, yeah, but they're banking on the fact that the people who played the
just
video game.
benefited.
No,
It's not-
no,
it's
no,
not-
no.
That's
it's
why.
not-
That's
it's
why.
not-
No,
it's-
part of the reason they greenlight it, it's because they have an assurance that a good percentage of the people that like The Last of Us are going to go and watch the show.
'Cause
yes,
Halo- 'cause
that's,
Halo
that's one of the points of adaptation.
but Halo bombed.
Yeah,
Halo bombed. Of course, things
'Cause the
bomb all the
writing.
time. Aragon bombed. That
No.
doesn't mean that
'Cause the
when they're
writing.
choosing, Aragon
writing.
bombed.
Exactly, so
Like,
it's
like
depending on
adaptations
town-
bomb all the time, but that doesn't mean that the producers and the people selecting these things aren't banking that a portion of the people that already liked the original product are gonna then go and see it.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. Of course.
Like,
when you
it
bank
is
on brand
banking on it.
recognition, Well, no, I wouldn't say they put all their eggs in the
Oh,
brand
of course
recognition
not.
basket.
I never said that. I'm
But-
saying that
but-
a portion of the reason why they adapted this, a good
Is
portion
because
of it,
recognizable.
is because people that have already played the original, the things that know about The Last of Us, are then gonna go and watch it.
Yeah.
Did you know about The Last of Us for the
No,
TV
'cause
show?
then
Of course.
I'm a
Are you
contradiction.
gonna watch the show?
I'm a contradiction.
Boom.
Me and you are
I-
a contradiction. We know about the video game. That's why we're not gonna.
We were waiting for the TV show to come out.
Yeah,
if anything.
Yeah,
No, no,
that's
no.
why.
No. That's obviously against you, Edward, because me and you basically said why watch it when it's already cinematic. See, I'm already.
But I'm
a
still
gamer.
gonna watch it.
No, but I'm
Like-
no, because then you're saying, oh, people are gonna
Oh,
watch it.
Hector waited till it came out and saw the reviews and then decided to watch it. He didn't wait for it to come out and then it was like, oh, you know?
Exactly. You're saying that because of brand recognition, I was gonna watch it. Exact opposite.
Opposite.
Because
He
of
waited.
brand recognition, I didn't watch it.
And then he waited until he saw the
but
reviews come
do
out.
you realize that in this small sample set, you're in the minority, right?
No.
It's 2 versus 1.
No.
Well, I mean, if I was waiting for it to come out, probably would have seen it on the days it came out. But I was kind
Yeah.
of like, I heard the movie, I heard the TV show
Yeah,
come out.
like
Yeah.
you do realize that most of the people that like of the people that know the game and that played the game and like the game go on to watch the show at least the first couple of episodes because it's based off of that. It's that brand recognition. You're in the minority in the fact that you wait because of the brand recognition. You wait, and the producers know this. That's one of the benefits of doing an adaptation. That is one of the key components of doing
So
an
a good
adaptation.
if
The
it
brand
make it- if it
the
makes
brand
it good, though.
recognition.
It has to be good.
Yeah, it has to
I
be
wanna
good for you
watch
to
it.
continue watching
Mhm.
it. But there's going to be a certain amount of people that are going to watch it specifically to, you know,
So
they're
then
going to
what
want
about
it to
what
be
about
good,
Halo?
but
Since
they're
I
gonna
know
go-
about Halo, why didn't I go watch it?
That's true. And then
Yeah.
he waited, and then it came out
And I
bad.
waited out and it came out
And
bad.
I
and I'm
wasn't
just
even.
not
I was
watching
not hyped for it at all either.
Exactly.
Yeah, look.
I did that.
But a portion of people that like Halo went to go watch it anyways because it's Halo.
That's an assumption, Edward. You need.
Yeah,
you
and
need-
that's the assumption that producers are using when they choose to adapt
No.
stuff.
Good
No, that's
assumption.
true though.
That's true.
because they do bank on it. It's like it's Halo. It's one of the biggest video games. Why wouldn't people watch it?
That's
Yeah.
People don't watch it.
That's why.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
assumption. All right, let's go get ramen.
What's your point?
Book to Friday?
No, Edward, you don't have a point.
No. Again, we already established there wasn't really a point. It was just Edward's opinion.
Yeah, it was my
that
opinion
there should be other stuff.
Yeah, that games with high gameplay ceiling, like things that are complicated to actually play or that are difficult to get through.
Actually,
I
my
know.
video games are harder, so they should be
Warcraft
made
was
into
a
movies.
horrible movie. Edward, Warcraft.
I didn't see Warcraft either.
Cuphead. Perfect example right now. insanely difficult gameplay
Simple
which has a
gameplay.
good story.
Simple
Technically,
gameplay. It's simple
there's
gameplay.
complicated moves and the bosses do a lot of damage, but it's not like
It's difficult to
it's
get
just-
through
it's
on,
just-
to get through to the story.
Mega Man anime.
yeah, true.
yeah,
Good.
true.
Both are good. It
Both
could
of these
happen.
nuts.
Edward, it could happen.
to Friday
it's a good
podcast.
idea.
All right, we're done because
Let's go to
Edward's
Cuphead. Perfect example.
Edward got no point. Thank you.
What the fuck is this?
We're broke till Friday. Goodbye, my friends. We'll see you next week. Now I'ma go and beat my meat. And we're broke till Friday. Bye, my friends. We'll see you next week. And now I'ma go and beat my meat. And we're broke till Friday.